we humbly wish to thank Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen for finding time to come and be with us. Thank you very much, CS. Allow me to first of all register my appreciation for the decision taken in addressing security that has become a major concern in our country. We wish to confirm that the situation was all managed, and as at last, peace has been restored. We sincerely commend your efforts, CS, to safeguard the lives and property of the people. Going forward, we also wish to respectfully request that you consider working closely with our political leaders on the ground whenever such operations are undertaken. This will strengthen coordination, building trust, and promote a good working relationship between the national government and county governments for the benefit of our citizens.
And I want to say that we will continue working together, regardless of our ethnic, gender, or religious background. We need to work together as a team in Nzoia. I know this assembly has members from different political parties. My clarion call to you is that do not allow ethnic rhetoric, even as we go to the next elections, do not allow ethnic rhetoric that divides the people along ethnic lines to become the cornerstone of our political conversation. Let us, all of us here, indeed, in terms of our deeds and in our actions and our speeches, let us do everything to ensure that we unite the people of Nzoia to become one undivided people, so that when people leave Nzoia, they say, I am Nzoian, not necessarily that I am from this tribe or another. It is unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that in politics, you find politicians moving around with calculators, calculating ethnic composition of their wards or their constituencies or their county. Mr. Speaker, I long for that day that all of us shall speak in one voice, knowing that we are addressing Nzoian and one united people, children of God, united by the possibility that God brought us to this county, and that we are going to do everything to make sure that next election will be successful. Kenya, the National Police Service, did its largest recruitment of contingent of police officers are the women that are currently being trained in various parts of the country and are expected to graduate in another 2 months. We listened to you, and we provided these officers. We ensure that a critical percentage, which is over 20% of the recruits, are women, and who will now help us man the gender desk and help us address the question of imbalance when it comes to public service, and particularly when women need to confide in fellow women who are police officers in police stations. Mr. Speaker, this being a highly represented county in terms of ethnic composition, I want to address the country and tell them that to all the preachers of doom, next year will be a very peaceful elections. There will be no violence in any part of Kenya. We are prepared from the security sector, but also the people of Kenya are prepared to reject persons who are going to preach hatred and who will try to bring in matters of violence. I have seen some people drumming or beating drums of war, trying to scare citizens from living and voting in where they live. Mr. Speaker, take it from me. Not just because of you know, Mr. Speaker, I am sensitive to the multiculturalism of Kenya because my children, Mr. Speaker, share an heritage of various ethnicities. And Mr. Speaker, for that reason, and having lived and grown up in this Nzoia and also, of course, Elgeyo Marakwet County, I want to assure the people of Kenya that it is not just my duty as the Cabinet Secretary, it is my deep personal belief that violence is very barbaric, backward, and cannot take our country forward. And therefore, as a Cabinet Secretary, provide leadership in the most sensitive sector of security, I will be very ruthless against enemies of peace and unity. And we will not allow in any way, Mr. Speaker, people to incite Kenyans against each other. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Having been elected as Senator 3 times, I want to tell honorable members here that being elected to be among the very few 34 county assembly members in this assembly of Trans Nzoia is a great privilege and honor from the people of Kenya. Don't take it for granted. You will only realize, let me say this, you will only realize when you become a former MCA that you wish you used that opportunity to do something, you know. There are hundreds of people out there who are admiring your position as a county assembly member. Yet, most county assembly members leave the assembly after 5 years having said nothing, you know, having contributed absolutely nothing in the county assembly. It must not happen to you. You have another 1 year to leave your name in the annals of history. There is no greater document that transcends the sands of time than the Hansard of the county assembly. Don't worry whether people are in the assembly or not. Even when you remain here alone with the speaker, as long as nobody has called for quorum, you can talk as long as you want. When the assembly, and I'm telling you this as your brother who has gone through this, when 100 years later, your grandchildren will come and read the records of the county assembly of Trans Nzoia, they will find that their grandfather or their grandmother was a great debater. Yes. They will not know whether there were two people in the assembly or it was you at the speaker alone. Yeah? So I want to encourage county assembly members that this is a very, very important time. Come up with motions. You know, you don't have to come with a bill. You can think about the challenges that the people of Trans Nzoia are having, come up with a motion, come and table it. The best thing I know is that you have a great clerk, you have a great staff of the county assembly. The people who really drive content and advice are the clerks supporting the speaker. So you don't have to know how to draft a motion. Just need to come with the idea to the clerk's office, and they will give you the lawyer or the officer who is there. They will draft for you the motion. The rest is for you to come and read the motion. Now unaongea for the rest of the hours. Sorry for mixing languages, but you can now speak for as long as you want about the issues that are affecting the people of Trans Nzoia. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, it is my encouragement that take seriously this great privilege and honor. Make sure that you leave a mark, you leave a legacy as a county assembly member serving at this point in time. Our police officers have been doing extraordinary work indeed under immense pressure. The government listened. Following these consultations, additional police recruitment was undertaken. The forthcoming graduation of our new officers will significantly strengthen police visibility, improve response times, and enhance public safety across the country. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that the other day I saw a discussion in one of the media houses. I spoke about the over 10,000 police officers who will graduate are going to help us increase police visibility and ensure that we have greater deployment of officers to deal with public order, particularly where goons are involved in terms of those issues. I saw some people making fun about it, but it is the truth. The reduction of police officers have strained police officers at the moment in terms of deployment to cover the increasing recruitment of young people by political actors to cause chaos and violence. And because of that, this strength of an extra 10,000 police officers freshly trained and whom we have also trained on management of public order will give us the strength we need so that we can be able to address the problem of goons invading public spaces during public rallies and public engagements. So for those who are making fun of this, at least they better hear that Kenya is going to be far much stronger and better when these officers graduate with the training that we have given. Mr. Speaker, on the criminal gangs and violent goons, citizens across Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, the entire counties of the Western region, including Trans Nzoia County, demanded decisive action against the organized criminal gangs and violent goons who had infiltrated demonstrations, extorted businesses, and terrorized communities. In response to the concerns raised regarding the menace of criminal gangs, the ministry has undertaken sustained intelligence-led security operations in Kitale and other major towns across the region that had been adversely affected by the activities of criminal gangs and hired goons. I am pleased to report that these operations have yielded significant results. Mr. Speaker, I have had engagement with the leaders here and the citizens of this town, and they truly appreciate the operation that has been done in these areas of Matisi, among others. However, Mr. Speaker, I know they have told me that it should be sustained and permanent so that the people can live in Kitale and its environment in peace. So law and order have been restored in the affected areas, while our security agents have successfully dismantled the operation of criminal gangs, apprehend key perpetrators, and target the financiers and facilitators who sustain these criminal networks. The government remains resolute in its commitment protecting Kenyans. We shall intensify these operations and ensure that the criminal menace is decisively eradicated, not only in the region, but across the entire country. Let me assure the people of Nzoia and all Kenyans that we will not relent until we are safe from goons, from gangs, we secure the country, and we free you from criminal intimidation. I know there is a conversation that is going on in the country about goons and gangs. Mr. Speaker, part of the challenges we face in the security sector is that a number of these goons and gangs, when they are arrested and presented before court, sometimes they are released in very lenient bail terms. And sometimes, because of these challenges, they become emboldened and they continue performing the acts they do. Last year, we faced one of the worst demonstrations in the country, June 25th, where criminal gangs and goons were actually mobilized and brought to the streets and caused havoc. They burned police stations, they burned courts, they looted people's businesses, they stole guns, they stoned police officers and attacked innocent civilians. Mr. Speaker, when we arrested over 3,000 goons and gangs, and whom we presented before court. Unfortunately, most of them were released in lenient terms. Their financiers, including politicians, were presented in court, in Kahawa courts, for unleashing terror and presented with charges of terrorism. The same political leaders who are now crying loud about goons and gangs were the first ones to go to court for those people to be freed. I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that we will be ruthless when it comes to goons and gangs. The plan that we have put in place in the next few days will give assurance to as many Kenyans in every part of Kenya. And I am not pointing finger to any political side, because security does not choose the political side. We will deal with goons and gangs regardless of the political affiliations of the politicians, and the leaders and the business people who are financing them will be dealt with ruthlessly. Mr. Speaker, I hear from the public a number of times saying that the Minister of Interior must become as ruthless as the former Minister of Security, Honorable John Michuki. But people need to appreciate that if we were to be as ruthless as the days of Honorable John Michuki, a number of these constitutional provisions will have to be violated for us to be that ruthless. As a cabinet secretary and a teacher, a former teacher of law and a law practitioner, I know the challenges that we are navigating through in the security sector today. We must do security operation, but at the same time, we must do it under this new constitutional order. That is why you realize that sometimes the process of justice becomes slow. But I want to assure you that it becomes slow because we have to navigate the new constitutional dispensation, our new constitution that we passed nearly 10 years ago, and 16 years ago. For that reason, therefore, we will continue delivering on the security sector, security operations, securing the people of Kenya. But I want to assure this august House that we will also do so within the law and within the Constitution without applying any extrajudicial means, because we respect the constitutional processes that are there in place. And that is why we continue insisting that for us in the security sector to keep following the Constitution in the security operation, we need decisive and firm action from the judiciary so that we do not fall into the temptation, as the Kenyans have fell into that temptation before, of using extra-constitutional means to deal with criminals, including mob justice, or otherwise known as mob injustice. As the constitutional provisions on public participation have been reinforced by legislation and institutionalizes citizen engagement across government institutions. The County Assembly Act 2012 establishes elaborate mechanisms for citizen participation in county planning, budgeting, and legislation. The Public Finance Management Act requires public participation throughout the budget-making process. The Statutory Instruments Act 2013 requires consultation before subsidiary legislation affecting public rights and interest is promulgated. The Urban Areas and Cities Act institutionalizes citizen participation in urban governance. Similarly, the Environmental Management and Coordination Act and the Climate Change Act requires public consultation before major environmental and climate-related decisions are made. Public participation has therefore evolved from being merely a constitutional value into a legal obligation, cutting across virtually every sphere of governance. Honorable Speaker and members, guided by the aforementioned constitutional and statutory provisions, the judiciary has equally played a significant role in defining what meaningful public participation entails. The High Court in Robert Gakuru and others versus Governor of Kiambu and others in 2014 held that public participation requires more than merely inviting citizens to meetings. The public must receive adequate information, sufficient time to consider proposals, and genuine opportunities to present informed views. The Supreme Court further developed this principle in British American Tobacco Limited versus CS Health and others. The court held that the public participation must be real, purposeful, timely, and capable of influencing the ultimate decisions. It should never be reduced to procedural rituals undertaken merely to satisfy constitutional formalities. Similarly, in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission versus National Super Alliance, NASA, Kenya, and others 2017, the Supreme Court affirmed or reaffirmed the constitutional values, including public participation, must be interpreted in a manner that promotes democracy, governance, good governance, accountability, and legitimacy. Indeed, our courts have consistently emphasized that meaningful public participation requires timely dissemination of relevant information, inclusivity and accessibility, adequate opportunity for citizens to express their views, genuine consideration of those views by decision makers, and transparency regarding how public views informed the final decision. At the same time, our courts have acknowledged that Kenya still lacks comprehensive legislative framework prescribing uniform qualitative and quantitative standards for public participation. Parliament has therefore been encouraged to develop such framework in order to enhance consistency, certainty, and predictability. Honorable Speaker and members, traditionally, the security sector operates under command and control model characterized by hierarchy, bureaucracy, and confidentiality. Policies were developed internally. Police officers rarely questioned institutional publicity. Chiefs implemented directives from above. Citizens largely interacted with security agencies only during emergencies and when they are actually victims of that security operations. Honorable Speaker and members, the model was appropriate for its time, but today's security threats are fundamentally different. Criminal gangs are recruited from our neighborhoods. Drug traffickers exploit vulnerable communities. Gender-based violence occurs within our homes. Cybercrime increasingly targets our youth. Cattle rustling affects pastoral livelihoods. Violent extremism exploits social exclusion. None of these challenges can be solved by government acting alone. Security must therefore become a shared responsibility between government and citizens.